Now, this bank was worth £1.2 million without doing anything to it. But of course, we didn't pay £1.2 million. We paid £765,000 at auction. Now, this property has a long history, was actually even offered on the property elevator at £900,000, but why did no one pick it up? Well, we're gonna run through that in this video, how we got it so cheap, what we're gonna do with it, and what's our long-term vision for this bank. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Malkit Purwal, one half of Savoys Properties. We have a portfolio of over 700 tenants in mixed use, commercial, residential and HMOs. Now, the first question you probably have is, how do we get this property so cheap? Well, this property was owned by the previous owners for over 10 years. They had a blue chip tenant in there, which was Lloyds Bank, and it gives you a decent return. However, when the tenant handed in its notice that it was gonna leave, they struggled to find someone that was gonna reoccupy the whole site. And with banks, they tend to be quite unique in the way they're actually structured. They tend to have a lot of depth, and the floors above would have been used as offices as a part of the bank. So now, as the climate has now changed since COVID, retail units or offices of that size are no longer in demand on the high street. But what actually is in demand are smaller, bespoke retail units. So it wasn't for everyone, so they put it up for sale. It was actually on the market on and off for 18 to 24 months. They had numerous sales agreed on this, I believe at the first time at 1.1 million, and at later dates like £1 million and even £900,000. But each time the sale fell through. The reason the sale was falling through was the property was actually owned in a partnership between several people. Now, if each party does not agree to sell, then that sale will never go through. Hence, when it actually came down to it, they had to put it in auction and they signed a contract saying, okay, once the hammer falls, the property is actually sold. There was another issue why the property ended up coming up so cheap. There was some structural issues with it. So when we were on the first floor, we noticed there was some cracking on either side of the walls. Sometimes this is normal, but this is down to movement over years. But however, on this bit, there was a front elevation that comes up about 1.5 meters ahead of where the ground floor is. Now, for us, this was an alarm bell when we actually had a look at it. When we actually stood on the first floor near that front elevation, you could tell that one side was a little bit lower than the rest of the floor. So this actually signaled to us that there was some structural movement. However, with a problem, there's always going to be a solution. And you can find the right solution, you'll be able to actually identify why there is that movement and how to actually resolve it. So when we actually looked into this, we learned that there was a steel that was missing within the ground floor. Just so you guys can see what I'm talking about, if you have a look at this wall here, you can see there's some cracking here that literally goes from the top and it was going all the way down. Obviously we stripped this back. You can see basically on the front elevation, the movement has actually bowed part of the paneling that is here. And then you'll see there was exactly the same on the other side of the wall here. Now, with everything, if there's a problem, there's a solution. If there's a problem, you're probably likely to be able to negotiate and get a cheaper price. In this case, it went to auction, it put off a lot of buyers. So I believe we were one of two bidders on this site. Hence, we required it at such a low price. The solution was actually steels that needed to go in. We knew this was going to be the case, but it was only once we stripped the ceilings down, exposed basically the joists, we noticed basically there was a steel that was missing at the front elevation, basically holding this up. So this is that new red steel that we've put in there. And we needed to put in some supporting steels as well, just to ensure the existing structure is attached as one to the front structure there. Now, the steels along with the labor actually cost us 10K. So, but put it this way, 10K for a £500,000 discount. It's not bad, and it just goes to show you just need to think outside the box, have the right power team. So in our case, the architects, the structural engineers, and obviously the build team. With that, you can make massive savings and pick up some real bargains. So we bought a big bank, but what do we tend to do with it? Well, let me show you. So we've actually stripped back now the retail unit where the counters used to be. So if you see where that green wall is, this is as far back as what we're going to keep within the retail space. Now, if you've been watching our videos before, you know with retail, space is all down to zoning. The closer you're to the front window, that tends to be a zone A. And then where that green wall is and back from there, it's going to be zone B. And then further back you go, you'll have a zone C. In some cases, you have a zone D area, which has little or no value at all. So we wanted to utilize this zone A area. We basically stripped it back, ensured that this is going to be the area for the retail unit. We'll put it up with a local commercial agent. We actually now have someone agreed on a 10-year lease. We're in the process of signing that. We'll be all good to go, and this will now be hopefully a great retail space for the high street. Now let me show you the rest of the building. What we're going to do with this zone sort of BC area is basically change this into a 2-bedroom flat. So from this wall here, this is all going to be sectioned off, and this is going to be part of a 2-bedroom apartment on the ground floor. So where you have this area here, this is going to be an open plan kitchen living area. I know it doesn't look much at the moment because we're bringing rubbish and stuff down from the first and second and third floors, but this will be a nice home for someone. So we've got your own unique access to this apartment here, so it technically makes it a maisonette. You're going to have basically a boiler room here, some storage space within here which we're going to utilize to become a bathroom, and then we've got 2 bedrooms. So this will be bedroom one of the smaller bedrooms, and you can see basically we've got a safe that was in here. We're going to partition this off. This will be left. Things like this are actually really expensive to remove, hence we decided it was best to actually leave this in here. And then where used to be the safe, we've now utilized this as a part of a bedroom as well. So again, it's very expensive to try to remove what used to be part of the safe, so we're going to sort of keep that within the building. But you can see within here it's actually the bigger bedroom. We managed to get rid of the safe door, which basically took the guys a long time to actually using specialist equipment to actually cut into pieces. But this is actually going to be a nice 2-bedroom apartment once done. On the first floor where we are at the moment, so this is the rear elevation part of the building. This is actually going to be a bedroom here. Again, it's going to be a 2-bedroom apartment. And then if you follow us through, this actually used to be the staircase coming up for the to access the first floor within. But again, because this is going to be a self-contained flat, downstairs we're now converting into a 2-bedroom flat. We can actually utilize this space. This is now going to be an additional bedroom, and it'll be actually quite a nice space. So we ate into a part of the area where we had one of the WCs to create a nice double bedroom. Then if you follow me through, we'll have a shower room within here where you got one of the old WCs. We're going to keep one of the fire exits here on the first floor because it makes sense just to provide that additional fire safety for the residents. And then if we go through, this is going to be basically the utility area where we'll have the gas boiler, a mega flow system for the apartment. And then in here we have what's going to be an open pan kitchen living area. If you follow me up, I'll show you the rest of the building. So from here we'll have a door, and this will be apartment 3. This will be one of the bigger apartments. So in here we'll have an ensuite bedroom. The guys already partitioned it off. Now it'll be a decent sized double bedroom. These type of apartments are actually really needed within high streets because there's a lack of affordable accommodation. So taking these defunct properties and then repurposing them actually adds so much value and much needed housing stock. And again, within here we have another ensuite room. As discussed previously, obviously this room had some of the bigger issues. Now this room here used to be a storage room. We're actually going to utilize this and make it a kitchen for the apartment. This part of the building was surprisingly so large. Upstairs here, this used to be, again, another lavatory. This is going to be repurposed. We're going to make this another bathroom here. We're splitting basically the uppers here into 2 bedrooms, and we're going to make them ensuite. Again, this is probably ideal for a big family or a bunch of friends that want to live together. Close access to the high street and rail services into town. And I know that there's still more space, so if we head up here, there is an additional space which we're going to utilize. Again, we've got a great space up in the loft here. We're going to utilize this and make this another additional bedroom, and we're utilizing all parts of it. So within here, again, it was just storage space. We're going to utilize this and make this like a walk-in wardrobe for this particular bedroom. Now, I know what you want to know. What are the numbers? Okay, so the purchase was 765. We're just spending shy of 300,000 on this. Before we actually even purchase this, we worked with our brokers and the lenders, got a commercial valuation done on this. We know our exit is 1.85 million pounds. So it's actually a healthy profit by taking a defunct property, which on the market for 2 years on and off, structural issues, ignored and dismissed by many, but if you find a solution, have the right vision, you can actually make a decent sum by buying these defunct properties. Now, if you want to learn more, we have a free Savoys online community. We just hit 1,000 members. The details are in the bio. We hope to see you on there. Now, before the video ends, make sure you like and subscribe. We're back each and every week with a new video giving you those gems.